Have you ever caught yourself just power walking through your own city, like maybe you're late for work or just trying to grab coffee, and your path is completely blocked by a massive group of tourists?
Oh, the meandering crowd that takes up the entire sidewalk.
Yes, you know the exact demographic. They just stop dead in the middle of foot traffic to take a picture of, I don't know, a street lamp.
Or a statue you walk past every single day.
Right, without even a second thought. And you probably roll your eyes, maneuver around them, maybe mutter something about situational awareness.
We've all been there.
But then, let's be brutally honest for a second. Have you ever booked a flight, landed in a totally unfamiliar city, and then after dropping your bags at the hotel, gone out and done the exact same thing?
Suddenly you were the one holding up traffic for a blurry photo of a bridge.
Exactly. It is this wildly hypocritical quirk of human nature, and honestly, it's the exact tension we are exploring today. Welcome to the deep dive. We are unpacking that incredibly thin line between being a wide-eyed tourist and a seasoned local.
In that tension, it's really a universal part of the human experience. The source material we're working with today just dissects that duality perfectly.
It really does.
We're looking at a fascinating essay. It's titled, "Am I a Travel Snob or Just a Montreal Snob?" from the blog Wanderlust Over 70, written by Roberta Hill.
And we should clarify, Roberta is not, she's not just an occasional vacationer.
No, not at all. Her travel resume is extensive. I mean, her site chronicles an 80-day trip around the entire world. She's written about recent expeditions to the Galapagos, hiking Machu Picchu, and navigating Iceland. So she is a highly seasoned, highly observant traveler.
That mileage is crucial context for you listening because she has seen the global tourism machine from every conceivable angle.
Absolutely.
So our mission for this deep dive is to extract her hard-earned wisdom on the difference between simply seeing a city and actually knowing it.
What does it take to cross that invisible boundary?
Right. And what I found so refreshing right out of the gate is that Roberta completely refuses to apologize for the tourist phase.
She owns it.
She does. She admits that the first time she visits any major city, she is unabashedly a tourist. She wants the postcard view. She wants the movie-like experience.
Which is so interesting because the modern travel landscape constantly pressures us to find the hidden gems right away. There's almost a guilt around wanting to see major landmarks.
Like you're not a real traveler if you want to see the Eiffel Tower.
Exactly. But Roberta pushes back on that. She reminds us that touristy places are touristy for a reason. They distill a place's best qualities into what she calls a walkable, camera-ready package.
A walkable, camera-ready package. I love that phrasing. It just completely neutralizes the shame of doing the hop-on, hop-off bus tour on day one.
And there's a biological reason we gravitate toward those packages. Dropping into a foreign environment is overwhelming.
The cognitive load is huge.
Right. From a neurological standpoint, a first visit is purely about orientation. You need spatial anchoring. We seek out the tallest spire or the grandest square because we need obvious points of reference to build a mental map.
You have to understand the scale of where you are standing.
Precisely. It's an introduction. There shouldn't be any stigma attached to doing the obvious things because the obvious is usually extraordinary.
The mistake isn't looking at the extraordinary, it's assuming that's all there is.
Exactly.
Now, this orientation phase makes perfect sense when you're abroad. But where it gets really interesting is when Roberta shifts the perspective back to her own home turf.
Montreal.
Yes, Montreal. She notices that when people dismiss old Montreal as just this artificially touristy area, she actually bristles.
Because it's her home.
Right. She gets defensive over a neighborhood that fits the exact description of the camera-ready packages she seeks out elsewhere.
And her juxtaposition of old Montreal is brilliant. She maps out two entirely different realities in the exact same physical space.
The summer versus winter contrast?
Yes. She describes the summer tourists dodging selfie sticks, navigating around incredibly loud bachelor parties. It's chaotic.
But she doesn't really engage with it. She says she slips past them like a local ghost.
A local ghost. It's such a great image. But then she fast forwards to her winter reality. The bachelor parties are gone.
Completely empty streets.
The wind is aggressively slicing off the river. Her boots are crunching on the snow. She says she feels like the very last person left alive in an ancient stone village.
Standing in a place in every season fundamentally changes your relationship to it.
It does. It shifts your psychological ownership.
Yeah.
And she talks about the Pointe-à-Collier Museum, too.
Oh, the layers of history there.
Yes. For her, wandering those layers is a reminder that beneath the cobblestones, right under those trendy summer restaurants, there are centuries of history. Fur traders' foundations, old ships.
She sees the foundational layers that a weekend visitor just can't see. And that deep understanding trickles down into her mundane daily routine.
Her local spots.
Yes, these hyper-specific places that anchor her life. Like the Indian restaurant on St. Paul where she uses the Too Good To Go app for leftovers.
So practical.
And her reliable coffee chain, Illico. She goes there because she knows they serve a proper affogato without any pretentious fuss.
But the best part is her bakery hierarchy.
Oh my gosh, the bakery hierarchy is amazing.
She has a backup bakery, a functional spot for when she just can't make it to her serious bread place.
Which she willingly admits is Exhibit A in her own snob trial.
We all have a serious bread place.
We do. And you live in fear that your quiet, serious bread place will end up on a viral video and be ruined by a queue of tourists forever.
That protective instinct is real. She also mentions a local ice cream shop in Place Jacques-Cartier. It's bravely sitting right next to a massive global brand.
And she always chooses the local one.
Always. Because tourist spots are introductions, but neighborhood haunts are conversations. You are participating in the daily pulse of the community.
And that idea, the difference between seeing and knowing, the introduction versus the conversation, that sets up the most controversial confession in her essay.
The borderline heretical takes.
Yes. As a travel writer, she flat out states that she does not care for the Eiffel Tower.
Bold.
And she finds the Empire State Building emotionally unimpressive.
It sounds like pure elitism out of context.
It really does. How do you justify dismissing the things people cross oceans to see?
You have to look at the timeline. She lived in Paris for 6 years.
That's a long time to absorb a city.
6 winters of gray light, 6 springs of chestnut blossoms. When you stay that long, your brain undergoes habituation.
Her Paris isn't the curated spectacle anymore. Her Paris is the 5th arrondissement at dusk. It's the smell of fresh bread right at 7 a.m.
The way the sand turns metallic just before the rain.
Yes. She traded the monumental scale for the sensory scale.
And because of that saturation, the urgency to see a wrought iron tower just evaporates. But she does make one profound exception.
Notre Dame.
Yes. Even after the fire, even wrapped in scaffolding.
It pulls you like a compass point.
She uses this powerful quote, "Some landmarks are a theater. Notre Dame is a memory."
Wow. Some landmarks are a theater. Notre Dame is a memory. That distinction is incredible.
It cuts to the core of why certain structures transcend tourism. The Eiffel Tower is a theater, a spectacle to observe. But Notre Dame holds the history and grief of Paris.
You feel the centuries in the stone. And that concept scales to other cities, too, like her experience in New York.
She was there for 4 months, downtown.
Which is totally different from a 4-day weekend.
4 months is the exact time it takes to develop grocery habits, to find your favorite dry cleaner.
To let a famous skyline fade into background noise, she says daily life isn't lived 80 stories up, it's lived at street level.
Between subway grates.
Corner diners, neighborhood delis, and the brownstone blocks where the light hits just right at 6 p.m. in the spring.
This is her concept of saturation. It's not disdain for landmarks. It's just that icons shift from being trophies to mere reference points.
Turn left at the cathedral.
Exactly. She isn't anti-landmark. She is anti-crowd choreography.
Anti-crowd choreography. I love that term. She rejects the assembly line nature of travel.
She learned that the icons don't dictate the heartbeat of a city. The daily rhythm does.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? How do you take this senior traveler's wisdom and apply it to your next trip?
It's about recognizing the danger of the obvious. The mistake isn't visiting the famous spots. Go get oriented. See the sights.
But the mistake is stopping there.
Yes. Assuming you've understood the whole story just because you saw the postcard view.
You have to seek out the human scale. Go find the ordinary Tuesday afternoon rhythm of a place.
Just like Roberta does. Whether she's in Paris, New York, or the Golden Triangle in India.
Find the local ice cream shop. Slip past the crowds and become part of the conversation. Thank you so much for exploring these layers of travel with us on this deep dive.
And to leave you with a final lingering thought to mull over, think about the biggest, most crowded tourist trap in your own hometown. If you had to take a visitor just 1 block away to show them the ordinary Tuesday rhythm of your neighborhood, the real conversation rather than the introduction, where exactly would you take them and what would you want them to feel?